inspiring us to create a better future for both people and the planet. Now, please join me in giving a warm welcome to Professor Pradyumna Vyas, President-elect of World Design Organization, to share on designing for a sustainable future, global perspective, and local applications.
Very good morning. Thank you very much for giving me opportunity to speak my point of view on sustainability. Since it's a global design conference, we have to also look into 8.2 billion people on this planet. And not necessarily they all have similar socioeconomic level, and there is a vast differences are there in this whole, what you call, there is no uniformity in socio-economic, cultural aspects, and also different languages and different geographic conditions. So I'm going to share with you some Indian experience, and which can be looked into a global context as well. So 20th century was the industrial world. And we should look into the past and see that if we have made some mistakes which is affecting on the sustainability, what are those and where we need to go. The 20th century, the design education happened that time. The first design school came up, Bauhaus, in 1919. So the first industrial revolution was 1760, where the steam engine was invented. The second industrial revolution was after 100 years, when the electric power was invented. And during the second industrial revolution, 20th century, the design education came up because easy to produce, easy to make, number of amendments, like it's convenient, cheaper, better, faster was the order of the day. It is basically looking into convenience and personality of products and services. Third industrial revolution was IT, information technology, which Thomas talked about, showing some of the computers. And now we are in the fourth industrial revolution, which is the digital, where the physical, digital, biological boundaries are merging. Now, this second industrial revolution, which has brought in the design profession, where it was based on the linear economy. And the linear economy is that take, make, use, and throw. And certainly it is not impacting on the sustainability, and we have to really look into that, how this linear economy, and this is the big challenge which we have to look, that how this linear economy, take, make, use, and throw, should get into the circular economy. So one challenge certainly is that there is a limited material sources are available, and designers need to look into circularity of the things which they are looking into it. But in 21st century, we live in a complex world. The complexities of a very higher nature, to know the future of design, we need to make emerging future which has many complex issues. And what are those complex issues? That challenge, the issues and challenges are changing the landscape of trends, growth, and critical sectors. So ecology. We all know that ecology is becoming a major, major threat to our existence. And while we were looking into the design profession, mostly satisfying our ego, whether we are branded product, more on personality projection, and there has to be shift for sustainability from egocentric to eco-centric. The whole approach has to shift from ego to eco, and anything which we do, I think we have to really look into. Because of this excessive consumption of energy and material, we are seeing the differences in short period of time. The planet Earth has survived for so many billion years, and our own existence was there for many, many billions years. But we see that recent time, the threats, especially when we look into flood, earthquake, tsunami and even COVID type of things, I think somewhere we have to really look into the way things are happening. Unless we have a total mind shift, unless we really change the parameter for the future, we will not be able to sustain. And that's why I sometimes feel that when people say that we have to take care of our planet to sustain ourselves, the planet was there, the planet will be there, but if we don't behave properly, we will not be there. So I think the focus is for our own existence. We have to really see that if we want to have a better quality of life on the planet, we need to really take care of our decision making and design, that hope we are not harming the planet, and then we survive and have a better tomorrow for our children to come. Economy, the global economy, innovation and sustainability, this is when you look into it, we all know that how the geopolitical aspect is also affecting on economy. We cannot have a single trend of design and development, and how the tariff thing is really creating havoc, which we see that it is having some kind of impact on future course of action and economic development. And we have to really have that kind of sustainability, that if these geopolitical effects are coming up, our country's economy remains very intact, and how design can really help in local product, local services, local market, and see that we don't get affected with all these global changes which are happening. The major area for designers, and in World Design Organization, World Design Capital, and World Design Protopolis, we are already working, and Thomas may tell more about it. But the fact of the matter is that the job concentrations are happening in the city. There is a lot of influxes going in the city, and we, as a designer, city planner, we are working more on incremental aspects of managing the cities. But I think the breakthrough thinking is required in that how to deal with migration, how to deal with infrastructure. Any city you take, mostly, maybe the Hong Kong is well developed, but if suppose other sites, you go to India and you see that the number of cars increasing on the road, and unless you put your systems thinking, the traffic is creating, it's a kind of wicked problem. You try and solve one problem and 10 more problems come out. And this wicked problem is the challenge for the new generation designers, to see that it is not in isolation. If anything we are doing, we may have to do it in a systems way and strategic way, which was discussed, that there is nothing in isolation, and so many factors which you have to take. Public transportation, infrastructure, migration, smart services, IT-enabled services, how we can really help citizens, and communities and culture. We need to also preserve the culture, because I feel that there's a lot to learn from culture and traditions. Sometimes, if I take the story of India, that Indian culture survived for 5,000 years or even more. There must be some sustainability aspect in that. And if that sustainability aspect are things we look into, then certainly we see that there are some sparks of sustainability in that culture which need to be bring into the labs of the design schools. The multidisciplinary approach, if we do it, there is a possible of sustainable future. If I look into the Indian culture, we have everything God. The river is God, the animal is God, the tree is God. You name it, and every day is a festival. And sometimes when you feel that why do you pray river? What is the reason of praying for the river? The river and human beings, there's an interrelation, and all what you call the planet, all lives have connectivity with the river, because river gives you water. And this water, people and water, which connectivity was there, then we respected it. Same way the tree we respected, same way the animals and other things we respected. But when industrial revolution has happened, the river water, because people moved to the city, the connection with the river is broken, and we got into bottled water. The moment we got into the processed bottled water, we broke our link to the river. And the moment we broke our link to the river, we started throwing garbage into the river. And that garbage is polluted again environment. If this situation, the interconnectivity with the nature would have been there, the possibility is that we would not have abuse the resources which are there. And I think those are the links which have broken in the industrial, what you call industrial revolution, and where that the natural cycle or the biodiversity or the other aspects you look into, that in nature there is no waste. But the technology and the consumer-centric approach which has come up, that the circularity had broken. And I think that's why the biomimicry is becoming so important. Can we really follow the nature cycle or the planetary cycle to see that we don't create any kind of garbage which will just ruin the planet. So this is one aspect which is there, the future. Information network and data. Now here, IT, lot of discussions, and we all know about how IT is really changed our life. And IoT, big data analytics, the artificial intelligence, all are coming up. And somewhere in design, future of design, you see the technology in today's time is moving very, very fast. AI is in Stone Age at the moment, and where it is going to go, we don't know. But I think the way technology is moving, the design community has to really look into the technology is enabler. I think we need to really look into context. And that's why the World Design Organization, the definition of design is humanizing technology. The human being comes first, technology follows. What are the needs of the human being for making their life better? First you find out the context, and then use technology and make a better quality. Democratizing the information. Now this is certainly one powerful thing which has happened, that any nook and corner with the help of IoT, Internet of Things, which has empowered us. It's not that only institutions or design centers can create something. An individual startup has power to create something wherever they are sitting. In fact, that democratizing, we need to really look into systems thinking, that the centralization which is happening in the cities, can we decentralize the whole thing? Because you can work, the COVID has really taught us that we can work from home, we can work from anywhere, and that decentralization is happened. I think the sustainability aspect certainly will do that. The do it yourself and the makers movement is also, which is becoming very, very in vogue now, that people can make things on their own. 3D printing and other aspects are coming up. The less number of things can also be produced. The relevant things can be produced. It can be produced at a far distance. So I think this do-it-yourself and market movement is also happening. And digital social network. Obviously, it is going overboard now, but digital social network is making us isolated also, that we are not we are more onto the social, digital social network. We can approach everybody very fast, but I think it is also bringing some kind of community or social isolation which is happening. Global versus grassroots. I think the grassroots sometimes we are ignoring because the globalization is happening, but empowering with the technology, the grassroots or the villages or the local communities certainly is a challenge which designers need to address for the future. And I think both global and local can coexist. While you are global, you can also be local. And that's why the term global is coming up, where individual person could be global and at the same time could be local, as well as looking into the both the aspects. Governance in society. I think this is a very important area. Hong Kong may have very well connectivity with government and designers, but many of the countries don't have actually the design policy. And I think the design policy in World Design Organization, we are working in this area, and we feel that the design community, rather than just focusing on the products and services and systems for the economic development and social development, I think the governance in the design certainly is an important factor, where how the services which government is providing are well designed, and how the aspect, the infrastructure, the healthcare, the agriculture, all these 250 sectors of social and economic development areas, how designers can really look into. Designers can also look into the social justice. If there is some kind of, the justice is not there, how are you going to really deliver the social justice to people with the technology help? The terrorism and war, we all know that we are victim of these kind of things. How are we going to protect our citizens in the country, and how design can do it? It's an area which is very sensitive, but I'm sure there are some aspects of the systems thinking can look into. And the refugee crisis. Refugee crisis, suddenly you see that there is influx of refugees because of the geopolitical conflicts which are happening, and then you have to address those issues as well. Individual level, if we talk about, governance level we are talking, but individual level if you talk about, then 24/7 lifestyle. You are east, west, south. There is no concept of the office time or something. You are continuously working on 24/7. And when this whole 24/7 individual lifestyle is happening, I think the healthcare, which is a mental health and physical health, both aspects become very important for the designers to really look into, that how they will take care of a better health, mental health and physical health, because the social isolation which is happening with the technology, where we are remaining alone and not involved into the communities, and not having a more social connectivity, that how we deal with that. And I think we have to really look into that. This aspect certainly can harm the quality of life of the people. So where do we go? What are the emerging challenges which we have to look into the design, that the ecological crisis, we have to slow it down. We have to see that the way deterioration is happening, the way flora, fauna, the material and other energy and all these things are happening, how are we going to really slow it down? I know that our lifestyle is way that we cannot stop it completely, but we'll have to see that how this planet cycle and human cycle, we try and align with each other and see that the ecological crisis can be slowed down. Redefine the economy to make business sustainable and value oriented. I think this is the challenge for designers, that we need to redefine education also. We need redefine this education system in most of the world is still depending on Ulm and Bauhaus design schools who started many 100 years ago. We have to rethink upon it. And when we discuss about that, what about the designs, products and other things which are going on in the industrial world, they say that the convenience is the biggest enemy for the ecology. The convenience which we want, which provide us this thing, that obviously it is looking into this aspect, and it creates an issue. I have a little time. Shape future cities and better public services, I mentioned. Negotiate the business of global and local. Manage ethical. The ethical aspect in the era of AI, I think the ethical aspect is becoming very, very important for the technology and society. Create a resilient society. Affect fabric of life and work culture strongly. What could be the values, attitudes, and approach of design in 21st century? Sustainability is the core value. We are talking about sustainability. Rural lifestyle and craft tradition, we should not forget. Harnessing tacit knowledge in design. Many times you see that cultural knowledge which is not documented. It's a tacit knowledge which has a lot of sustainable angle into it, and reconnect to grassroots. Go back to see that what were the values earlier adopted. So trans-disciplinary approach, challenges-centric approach instead of discipline-centric. Now I think we have to break the boundaries of discipline, and trans-disciplinary approach we need to look into. Integration of social design activism, transformation through design, co-creation and participatory thing. Co-creation become important. It is not only designers who are designing, but it's a co-creation, working with together and do that. Human-centered design, service design, experience design, integrated approach for product, process, integration and environment. So completely your product, process and services which you are looking into. How transform the design education for 20th century, 21st century. From training specific skill to learning and coping with the challenges. I think from now, Internet of Things, everything is there. So there is no training, there is no instructor. Now it's a learning. We are, as a faculty, we are mentor and we are facilitating things. So the whole area should go to the learning-centric rather than training-centric. Institutional structure would be flexible and adapt to learner-centric. Institute structure should have some kind of learning ability in them. So design discipline based on emerging global and local context. Open elective curriculum options across disciplines as well as level of expertise to manage variety of teacher and learners. I think that what students want, we have to really nurture that rather than imposing anything on them. 21st century assignment for collaborative multidisciplinary task project based on 21st century's challenges. Obviously that is there. So 21st century learner would learn based on interest and not limited by the boundaries of disciplines, engage in projects of balanced general and industry specific ability, acquire knowledge through hands-on learning and discussions. Allow people, every student has some kind of capabilities and we have to nurture that to resolve the problem. We always share anything we do for the community, we take them out and get the feedback from the community. I'm just finishing, just 1-2 minutes more. Challenges specific multidisciplinary theme based off open elective for that. The entire institution of 600, 700 students, if they work on the railways services, I think the lot of concepts can come up and a lot of interesting ideas can come up if we did. We went to Africa and look into traditional basketry and try to make baskets very effectively. The micro, small and medium enterprises, which is the second largest employer in the country, how we have incorporated design and made them better marketable things. So this is the creating strategies through design thinking for new models of information economy, and multiple models of design will have to be experimented with based on the local factors. So sustainable development goals certainly are the future which we have to look into. At least 7 or 8 goals where the direct intervention is there of the designers and the institutions, and I think we have to focus on that for having the sustainable future. So design is not only to serve industry, but design is to drive innovation and transformation. Sorry, I took 30 seconds more. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Professor Vyas, for that inspiring session. We'll now